Our granddaddy, on my mother's side, was in World War I in France. He was in Sergeant Alvin C. York's battalion. Saw Alvin C. march those 126 Germans in the afternoon that he captured them. My great-great-grandfather was physician in the cavalry of Nathan Bedford Forrest in the Civil War. For better or for worse. I think it's for better, okay? But we have a long history of the Pilkingtons have a long history of serving our country. He grew up in West Knoxville. Again, went to Bearden Elementary School, Bearden High School, UT, graduated, married his girlfriend, who I don't know why she married him. She put up with so much from him, but married his girlfriend, his best friend, Janie. As far as his hobbies go, I don't know if he had any other hobbies other than lifting weights and fighting. It seemed like he was always doing one or the other. I can remember when he was in high school, 2 or 3 times going to juvenile delinquent home, picking Chip up for getting in a fight, and I think a couple of times during college, we got to visit the jail. I know that. No, this is good stuff, okay? This again, talk to his friends, they'll tell you. When Chip would not come home late at night, my parents would call the hospital first and the jail next. But good guy. Main thing, he was my big brother. He was my friend, which a lot of times brothers don't get along that well, but he was one of my best friends. He was my protector, and he was my advisor. And I don't know how many times, I know 2 or 3 times, he has directly saved my hind end from getting whipped in a fight. I can tell you 2 occasions where I was getting ready to get my butt beat, and he showed up, and one time he took my place and just slammed this guy. The other time, just him showing up, they left me alone. And in high school, as I walked down the halls out here, senior, I was a freshman and Chip had already graduated, but the seniors were Janie's age. She was a senior when I was a freshman. All the guys remembered Chip, and I can remember walking down the hall and hearing them whisper, "Hey, that's Chip Pilkington's brother, leave him alone." Which was a saving grace. On the other hand, I always got to hear from the teachers, "Why can't you be like your brother? He was so smart." I'm not sure. I thought I was pretty smart myself. Evidently not. And then another thing from high school about Chip, the first week I was there when I was a freshman, I also remember walking down the hall past the office, and Mr. Turner, y'all remember Mr. Turner? Good old Mr. Turner came out and grabbed me by the arm and pulled me into the office and said, "You're Chip Pilkington's brother, aren't you?" I said, "Well, yes, sir, I am." He said, "I'll be watching you." He taught me several things, and I have passed these and other tidbits along to my children. But it's kind of written down in our family coat of arms. Things he taught me: avoid fights when you can. If you can't avoid it, hit them in the face, hit them in the nose, hit them first. Sucker punch them. If make their eyes tear up and they can't see, then you can just beat the heck out of them. And it worked. The first lick goes a long way. He taught me not to be a baby. He always said, "Don't be a baby." He said, "Speak your mind. If you got something on your mind, speak it out. Treat others with respect. Don't be a dumbass." Yeah, I can hear you say that a lot of times to me. And then lastly, and probably something that he taught that was the best lesson, is do the right thing. And I was telling the news guy from Channel 10, he said, what do you remember about Chip most? I said, do the right thing. A lot of people, several years ago, there was this fad where people wore the bracelets, WWJD, what would Jesus do? And going through my life, a lot of times when I got in a situation, I'd ask myself, and still do, what would Chip do? What would he do in this situation? And it was the right thing. What I came up with was the right thing. Again, I think Nick covered pretty well Chip's time in Vietnam and in the Marine Corps, so I'm not going through that. Just want to bring up one war story, okay, mainly for the Marines out there. But it's one, if y'all go to the reception, there's a picture frame down there with his medals and citations on it, and you can read about this, the detailed thing on this, but indulge me for a minute on this, and let me tell a story. You know, I'm a real good storyteller, and a lot of times I can tell truth and a lie is the truth, but this is the truth. Y'all kind of drift off, okay? You don't have to look at me, you just kind of look at the ground or whatever, but go back with me to 49 and a half years ago. It's March, it's 1969. It's in South Vietnam, a place called the An Hoa Basin, which is southwest of Da Nang. And it was a place called Liberty Bridge, and Liberty Bridge was a safe place for Chip's Marine unit. You know, they were out in the bush stomping around, chasing the enemy for 4 or 5 days. And then Liberty Bridge was a place, I know it was a company headquarters. I think that it was battalion headquarters too. I know they had 81 millimeter mortars and they had 105 howitzers. So it was a fenced-in wire enclosure. I'm pretty sure they had hot chow. I bet you they had showers. And they probably had bunk beds to sleep on instead of sleeping in a hole under a poncho or a poncho liner. So it was good. Liberty Bridge, you look forward to coming out of the bush, going to Liberty Bridge. Well, again, there was no safe place in Vietnam, okay, and no matter where you were, you were subject to attack anytime, especially at night. The enemy liked to attack at night, so they would draw various companies and various platoons to serve security around the perimeter. And a base has a circle around it, and in that base there are foxholes, and on the outside of it is wire and booby traps and mines, but the infantry is in the foxholes guarding the wire. So this particular night, Chip's platoon had perimeter duty on part of the wire around Liberty Bridge, and they were attacked by a very, very large force. I think it said, I don't really need this speaker, but I'll try to speak into it anyway. Regimental type size force, which is a whole lot of people. These were a whole lot of North Vietnamese regulars that wanted in Liberty Bridge to tear people up. They had mortars, they had M40 rockets, they had RPGs, which are rocket-propelled grenades, had machine guns, small arms fire, and they had sappers, which sappers are what you call engineers. That sappers are the guys that go in the wire first and cut the wire so the rest of the bad guys can come through the wire and get you. So all this time, while they were under attack, Chip's platoon on the other side of the wire, on the enemy side of the wire, had out what's called an LP. LP stands for listening post. That's at night. During the daytime, it's an OP, an observation post. But what an LP is supposed to do is keep their ears open. It's usually 2 to 4 men with a radio, and if they hear any activity out on the other side of the wire, you know, they get on the radio and say, hey, there's something going on out here. These guys in the LP either did not hear the activity or they didn't get in time, and they got hit. All 3 of them got hit very, very badly, wounded badly by enemy fire and also by friendly fire. Because, I mean, the North Vietnamese were coming in this way shooting, and the people in the base were shooting back at the North Vietnamese, and the LP, these 3 Marines, were out, you know, on the far side of the North Vietnamese, so they were getting hammered. And Chip did the right thing. This is something that, talking to his men, he wasn't ordered to do this. He just decided that he'd do this. He got a thing called an Amtrak, which is an armored tractor, which is what Marines have moved around in since World War II. It's kind of like a tank, except it doesn't have a big gun on it. It's armored, it's got treads, it's diesel. These things are slow as smoke and loud as all get out. He somehow finagled an Amtrak team to take their Amtrak. He picked up 2 of his platoon soldiers, 2 of the Marines in his platoon. They jumped in the Amtrak. They went through the wire in this Amtrak. Now, bear with me on this. There are North Vietnamese all around them coming this way. Chip and the Amtrak and his Marines are going out through the North Vietnamese, through the wire, through this hellfire and brimstone to pick these hit 3 Marines up. He went out there. They got all 3 of them. They brought them back. the relative safety of Liberty Bridge, and 2 of those 3 guys lived. And they lived because if they'd left out there overnight, they all 3 would have died. But they lived because Chip, these other Marines, chose to go out there and get them. And then, yeah, he didn't write many letters home to me. He had better things to do and was, fairly busy, I think, when he was out there. But he wrote me a letter a couple of weeks after that. And he said, the reason we went out to get those, and he paused. He said it wasn't because of God, it wasn't because of country, and it wasn't because of the Marine Corps, and it wasn't because of the flag. He said, we went out to get these guys because these were my men, these were my friends, they were hurt, and they needed help.